And Americans are being told that many of the mainstream Muslim groups are also moderate, when in fact, if you look a little closer, you'll see a very different reality. One of their primary tactics is deception. They present themselves as moderate leaders committed to peace and condemning terror.
As Muslims, we want to state clearly
that those who commit acts of terror in the name of Islam are betraying the teachings of the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad.
But when asked about specific terrorist groups, Cair officials are either evasive or outright supportive.
Does Cair have a position on Palestinian Islamic Jihad?
We haven't published one.
Now, don't you think that...
Okay,
you don't...
It's about the terrorist organization. It's not a terrorist organization.
And in 2000, Abdurrahman al-Amoudi openly supported terrorist groups.
Anybody is a supporter of Hamas here? Hear that, Bill Clinton? We are all supporters of Hamas. Allahu Akbar. Anybody supports Hezbollah here? Takbir. Takbir.
But al-Amoudi went further than just cheering for these groups. In 2004, he was actually arrested on terror charges. Perhaps what made the al-Amoudi case so troubling was that he was considered by many in the media and government to be a moderate Muslim leader. And al-Amoudi isn't the only leader who's had a problem with the law. Many so-called moderate Muslim leaders have been convicted on terror-related charges. To be fair, on their website, Cair has condemned Al-Qaeda by name. But why won't they condemn Hamas or Hezbollah?
And you sit here now and in just one sentence tell me Cair condemns Hamas and Cair condemns Hezbollah.
I'm telling you in a very clear fashion, Cair condemns terrorist acts, whoever commits them, wherever they commit them, whenever they commit them.
That's not the same thing as saying you condemn Hamas and you condemn Hezbollah.
Well, I recognize that you don't like my answer to the question.
The FBI uncovered a secret document that seems to answer this and many other questions. This is believed to be the manifesto of the Muslim Brotherhood in North America.
Hamas grew out of the Muslim Brotherhood. Palestinian-Islamic Jihad grew out of the Muslim Brotherhood. From the Egyptian Islamic Jihad movement grew the current movement of Al-Qaeda, for instance.
This 15-page manifesto outlines the goals and strategies of the Muslim Brotherhood's activities in North America. On page 7, the document states that their work in America is a kind of a grand jihad in eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within. And then it speaks about setting up groups and mosques and Islamic centers to achieve their ultimate goal, which is to destroy the miserable houses of the West so that they will be expelled and that Allah's religion is made victorious over all other religions. And at the end of the document, it lists the organizations that can help in carrying out these goals. Not only are many of these groups still in existence today, but they are the very groups who are thought to be the moderate Muslim leadership of America. These are the groups like the MSA, ISNA, and notably the IAP. And where does Cair fit into all of this? In 1994, Cair was established by 3 of the leaders from the IAP. And it's well documented that the IAP was essentially a front group for Hamas. So perhaps that would explain why Cair won't condemn terror groups like Hamas, and also why they avoided participating in my Muslims Against Terror rally in 2004. In keeping with the goals of the document, many so-called moderate Muslim leaders have been caught on tape calling on America to become a Muslim country.
We have a chance in America to be a moral leadership of America. The problem is when. It will happen, and alhamdulillah, I have no doubt in my mind. It depends on me and you. Either we do it now, or we do it after 100 years. But this country will become a Muslim country.
Before Allah opens our eyes for the last time, you will see Islam will be the second largest religion in America. That's where we are now. Being the first religion in America.
Islam is coming to America not through violence. It's coming to America the same way Christianity came to Rome.
You've got Imam Abdul Musa, who is known as an influential speaker in the Muslim community around the world.
Allah says that Islam will rise to its proper position in the world, whether these mushriks, whether these munafiqs, whether these criminals, whether these zalimeen, all of them, whether they get together, still Islam will reign supreme, whether they like it or not.
He's quite open about his goals.
In fact, on our website, we talk about the Islamic State of North America by 2050.
Musa is also an outspoken supporter of Hamas.
Hamas and Hezbollah are good people. They're good people. They don't deserve any condemnation. They deserve congratulations. They're good people.
And also an admirer of Iranian President Ahmadinejad.
Ahmadinejad? It's a good man. I got some pictures of him. That's President Ahmadinejad, President Ahmadinejad again, President Ahmadinejad. Ahmadinejad is a very good man. You guys and loved by most of the people around the world.
Are you starting to see a pattern here?
America needs to understand that the jihadist machine is already within the society.
The leaders of radical Islam, or many of them, realized that they cannot win the United States at the military level. So they plot another thing or another plot to infiltrate America from within.
The prison population, I think, is generally very, very fertile ground for the recruitment of these extremists.
The more political Islam, the more extreme forms of Islam, I've been watching that phenomena for 30 years. I knew what was happening in the prisons for years, right? And I knew that nobody else was really watching. I mean, just as a rule, everybody has been sleeping, and then no one's paid attention to the Islamic activists that have fed off the discontent of the young black males in the prison.
In fact, the former chaplain of the New York Department of Corrections has been caught on tape saying some extremely radical things.
Brothers, be prepared to fight, be prepared to die, be prepared to kill. It's a part of the deen, and this ain't your brother just saying this. This is history, this is Quran, nobody can deny it.
Islamic chaplains that go in and out of the prisons across the country. Let's assume that most are decent, law-abiding American citizens who pay their taxes. Then you got a few who are on some more extreme stuff.
You think that there's no terror in Quran? It's called Irhab. Read it in the 56th surah of Quran. There's no lack of translation. There's no mistranslation. There's no one shape says one thing. No, it's very clear. When you fight, you strike terror into the heart of the disbeliever.
There is virtually no attempt being made to prevent radical imams from addressing a literally captive audience and turning them into radical Islamists. And these aren't necessarily Muslims. These are people who are converted in prison.
About 18% at the last count of prisoners in New York State are Islamic.
The narrative of radical Islam would appeal to anybody locked up anywhere who feels that he has been unjustly treated by society. What's important to note is that barring some other kinds of interventions in the prisons, this will grow. This will grow.